How does everybody got these cool backgrounds, man? When Cody's on the beach and shit, that's where I want to be.
Well, now I'm on the Death Star. See, I can't shut them off. There's this fucking work thing where we had to find a background.
All right, Chewie. How's it going?
What's up, everybody?
Hey, episode 10.
Welcome to Stage Door Chronicles, episode 10.
Y'all motherfuckers didn't even think we'd get this far.
I don't know if I thought we'd get this far, but we did, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
as always, we are sponsored by Riff Rag.
that's right. Covering local music in Southern Colorado and beyond.
That's right. And their new issue should be out anytime. I haven't checked my email. It could be out today. I'm not sure. But if it is, check it out. Tonight, we have a really special episode for you guys. A band I was in back in the early 2000s called Intake. We haven't all been in a room together since probably 2005, even if it is a virtual room, and we haven't even been in a room like that. So this is the first time we've all got to hang out and shoot the shit. So it should be interesting.
So without further ado, check out episode 10 with Intake.
All right. Thanks.
All right. So we are here with with some good, dear old friends of ours, mine especially, the band of Intake. Let everybody introduce yourself. Tell them what instrument you used to try to play. Start with you, Cody.
I tried to play the guitar, somewhat proficient at it, but not anymore. So, I've got that going for me.
What's your name?
Oh, my name's Cody. Well, you said my name, so I'm like, I don't know if you do introductions or...
I'm Kenny. I tried to play the drums way back in the day, and I still suck at it.
I'm Craig. I play bass, kind of, sometimes.
I'm Josh, and I don't really play anything. I sing. Kind of.
Really, that's the hardest instrument, really.
Plugging that microphone in is always hard.
That's right.
Dude, and sometimes I don't even have to carry that.
That's hard work.
We didn't say the setup was hard. We said the instrument was hard.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about when you guys got together as a band, because this is an old lineup, right?
This is this lineup. This band actually dissolved back in what, 04, 05, something like that. But yeah, you guys, Cody, Craig, and or Kenny, tell us about because I was not, Josh and I, neither one of us were original members. So why don't you guys give us a little bit of the start of the band?
What did the other two guys?
A lot of beer. A lot of partying.
There might have been some alcohol.
Yeah.
Craig and I started hanging out and playing together, and that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of where it started.
What year was that?
Was that 98?
Must have been,
because you guys were in that house on Ivor for a grip there. So was that 98 or 99?
Yeah, that was 99 going into 2000, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
How'd you guys meet each other, Craig and Kenny?
I worked at Phil Winslow Volkswagen BMW, and his buddy.
You worked at Phil Winslow?
Oh yeah, and then Kenny's buddy. I worked with him, and we ended up partying together. Eric. Cornhole, and we ended up partying with together, and he ended up working at Winslow too as well. So. But yeah, we just ended up working together, and then we just started jamming. He got a drum kit. I got a freaking.
I literally just started drumming at that point. literally.
Yeah. And I finally got back into buying my deal that I took a little break for a while, and then I got back into it, got a 5-string, and then we ran into this dude, Cody.
It's funny, you're pointing to nobody on my side.
He's down here on 8.
Somewhere.
Cody's over here.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah, Eric said y'all should get hooked up with this guy.
Yeah, because I played at your guys' place when you lived with Eric for a while. I remember playing guitar over at your guys' place.
Yep.
So how long had you been playing guitar, Cody, when you started with these guys?
Since '91. It was
really?
real distinct. It was real distinct because I was still in high school, and the Guitar World had Enter Sandman in tablature, and I didn't know what tablature was. So when I first bought that, I'm like, I have to learn how to read tablature in order to play Enter Sandman. So I learned everything on the spot, and over years.
Exit light, man.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember right, you were in a small high school, right? Weren't you in Calhoun?
Peyton.
So was there a lot of other musicians out there that you knew?
The only other guy I met was Forsyth.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, there's a couple guys. I mean, I jammed with a drummer for a bit, and there's 2 brothers that I hung out with that both were guitar players, but one would jump on the drums every once in a while. But nothing substantial, just fucking around and playing,
Right. And Kenny, that was when you first started. Was when you started jamming with Craig, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. And I hung out with Cody before I started playing, and watching them just jam and have fun, like, really made me want to do that. It's like, I want to do that.
Yeah, right.
So from that point on, I wanted to play drums. I knew I wanted to play drums.
Who was the singer back then when you guys first started?
Another guy from Peyton, and I don't even understand how that happened. How did Jeremiah end up becoming the singer? I don't even remember how that happened.
You knew him, Cody, and that's how we met him.
Yeah, so imagine, if you will, a dude that sounds like Jim Morrison trying to sing over like heavy fucking.
Yeah.
It was
looking like Henry Rollins with no shirt, no shoes, just shorts.
So you might recognize him here in town now because he played with an acoustic folk duo.
Dude, what happened to him?
He's still around.
He's still playing.
I follow him on Instagram, and I see his stuff. He plays a lot of ukulele stuff, and he does like
baritone ukulele.
Yeah, he does all folk music now, and
he's a member of the Springs Ensemble Theater, and
I mean, he
does all sorts of stuff, but nothing like what we were doing.
Well, I think he finally found his niche. He was
yeah.
I mean, that was just it. That was the thing with him, is it just with Intake, it just wasn't his thing. I mean, give him credit for getting up there and trying, but it just wasn't his thing. And like when I joined the band, I think it was I don't remember if it was 99 or 2000. I think it was already 2000 by that point, maybe towards the beginning of 2000.
Yeah, when our other guitarist Mikey Reeves left.
No, he was still
Reeves.
He was still in the band.
Oh yeah, he was still in the band, wasn't he?
Yeah, because I joined as a second bass player.
That's right. We did that for like 2 shows.
Which I don't know how.
2 bass players.
How was that?
It was
awesome. Yeah, it was awesome.
Cool. It was cool.
With Craig and I have played so much over the years that it was easy for he and I to do it. I've tried it with other guys, and it just didn't work, man. It just sounded kind of muddy. But he and I, for whatever reason, we were able to do it. I don't know how he convinced the other guys to let me come in and do it, but he did, and they let me come in.
It was
relatively easy.
Yeah,
it was different,
but
and it sounded
Craig
cool.
Craig was rocking the 5-string at that point, right? And you were rocking the 4.
Just the 4, yeah. I hadn't gotten the 5-string.
So you were up in the upper.
Yeah, he was doing the highs and I was doing the lows, and then we'd switch off every now and then. But that was basically the formula for it, and it worked really well. I mean,
right. And the guitars,
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I did too. The guitars we had, Mikey.
Pretty cool. Kind of unusual.
Yeah. Mikey was considerably younger than the rest of us, right?
Yeah.
He was just a kid.
Right.
He's painting cars for a living now.
Sorry.
Yeah, or some idiot savant.
He was, and but unfortunately, I think he was told he had to quit playing, at least quit playing the band, if not quit playing guitar.
That's when he had
a couple kids young.
Yeah.
So
a couple kids really young, and
he's still with Crystal. I mean,
really?
Wow.
Yeah, and he's he's making grip loads of money painting cars, and yeah.
You
Last
guys
time I talked to him.
Loads of money.
Cool.
That's good
I
stuff.
know I think the reason we stayed with that tuning that we used with the 5-string always doing that lower octave was because of that. Because we had that bass in between the guitars and the low bass. So we never did like B's and A's. We just did drop D, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So we would always utilize that 5th string and fucking.
Right. And the first time I got a chance to play guitar with these guys, Cody actually went on vacation somewhere or something. You had to leave town for work or something. No, maybe it was during your honeymoon or something. I'm not sure, but we had to play a show. And so that was the first time I played guitar. It was me and Mikey playing guitar. And then right after that, when Cody came back, I think that's when we were like, okay, we got to do something about Jeremiah.
Spit it out.
And and then once the stuff happened with Jeremiah, then Mike came to us and was like, hey man, I got to quit. And he was just that quick. He was just like, well, see you later, guys. Got to go.
Yeah, grabbed his head and took off. But literally.
So I was like, all right, that was my chance to get in on playing guitar. And I played guitar in a band in Seattle with Craig. And so that's really what I wanted to do anyway. So that gave me a chance to move over. And then once Maya left, the first show that we did, we had a show. It was a Halloween show. It was either like October 27th or November 3rd, one of those 2 days. I can't remember which, but that was the one when we had fired him about a week before the show, and we knew we had the show. We're like, well, we're not canceling the show. We're just not going to do it. So that's when we went to Sis and said, hey man, can you stand in on this show for us? And we'll do it
something.
We'll do it as an alter ego band.
That's when he stopped by rehearsal for 30 minutes and said, I got it.
Yep. That was it. And that's because the night before he had gotten in trouble for lying to his wife because we all went to the club and he didn't.
Because he came home with glitter.
He knew our music though, but from running sound at the Colorado Music Hall, so he pretty much knew our music. So it was I wouldn't say easy, but it was easier for him to follow. I think,
Was that a music hall show you guys played then?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Music hall show, and he waffled the whole thing. And matter of fact, just
with this orange cowboy hat, huge orange cowboy hat on.
Oh, the oversized Broncos hat.
Yep. And that's when we were playing a song. It might have even been the same song. I'm not sure, but I had just written my first song for the band, and he came up. I just tongue in cheek. He's like, "This song's called When Angels Attack," and that stuck with me that night, man. And I'm like, we are using that title for something. And so when we hired Josh, we were like, okay,
that's the name of that song.
This is what the title has to be. And he wrote the lyrics. He wrote the lyrics perfectly to it. But so the way that we got Josh, we got it out that we were looking for a new singer. And this is the first.
We auditioned, guys.
We did. That's the only time I've ever really been through auditions with different people.
Yeah.
And so
the rap dude was interesting.
That was the guy I voted for, man. That Rage Against the Machine thing. I'm like, fuck it, man. Let's just fucking rage it out, man.
Just do it all the way.
Sorry, Josh.
And we had
against the corn.
Well, no, this was
what year is that when you guys auditioned people?
2001, I think.
That's what I think. 2001.
Because what happened was, Cody, it wasn't that you voted over Josh, I don't think, because I don't think Josh had
no,
because we held a vote with the first like 3 to 5 guys, and we had this one guy that came up that sticks in my head that I will love this guy forever. He was sitting down there. We had a jam room that was, it felt like it was 5 feet by 5 feet with all of us jammed in there. It was a sweat pit. And so we had all these guys come down and they rehearsed down, or they would jam with us down there. And we had this guy come in, and he sat there and he held that microphone, and his eyes were like, they were just so big. He looked like a deer in headlights. So I nicknamed him Bucky. And to this day, I can't remember his name, but his nickname was Bucky.
About that guy.
But he became a friend of ours for a long time. I mean, he was a really cool guy. But we're like, yeah, this isn't gonna work, man.
About that guy.
Yeah, and then we had Josh come in. A little bit later, we had Josh come in, and I had known Josh. from jamming Color Insane when he was in Bone Farm. I knew him.
Sanguine was around back then, right?
No,
Sanguine's after Intake.
Is
Yeah.
it?
We played a show with Josh when he was still in I. We actually played a music.
I played 3 shows in the that was one of them.
Wow.
Yes, we were select.
We played 3 shows as I remember that.
Yeah, so we got Josh came in and nailed the rehearsal. I mean, everything he did was great.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
And
that was awesome.
I remember everybody was real gung ho, and actually I was the one. I was like, well, he's great. He's a great singer.
I remember.
Right?
I remember because you came and told me, you're like, when I went back there, you're like, hey, you got to stop with the dancing.
Silly little backflips.
I did. And it really, it's man, having Josh up front doing what he does, that's just what he does. And that's what brings people. That's what
still to this day, jamming with him in Death Ride. Still to this day, he does that shit.
So, Josh,
are you like 45 years old now trying to do
I'm
that
almost
shit?
50.
Are you fucking like, all right, I got to do a show.
Crazy.
Kind of break a hip.
Daily dose of CoQ10 and shit.
But yeah,
They don't know what to think of me, man. I jump off the stage over the rails and shit, man. And people, people like, fuck, half my age are like, dude, fuck that.
Yeah. So yeah, we ended up hiring him, and that's when everything really, and it took us a while to kind of to build any kind of momentum, but we did.
All the songs basically took on a brand new life after that because they had material at that point, but they're like totally different songs. Like
right.
Well, it's like, you remember our first show at the music hall. What Forsyth said, he goes, "You guys are no longer an opening act; you're a headlining band." Right.
Yeah, it definitely changed quickly, and
well, it's amazing how a singer can change it all for you guys, as far as getting
it just meshed really well. Everybody
being taken seriously. Anybody could do that though for a band. Guitar player can do it. A drummer can do it. Just easily as a singer.
Mike Patton when he first joined Faith No More.
Right.
Just read that article today on either Blabbermouth or Metal Injection. Whole recall of how he got in the band and how everyone hated him at first, but they're like, "Oh, dude, that guy's fucking awesome."
Yeah. When I first joined the band, I felt like I was bringing a lot of the experience being with Color Insane for all those years before, and I thought, okay, well, I'll be able to, bring a name to these guys, and it'll go quick, right? Being very naive myself. And that's actually when I shaved my head, is when I first joined these guys. I'd shaved my head. We had done our first show. And again, it was very naive and stupid of me to think that I was going to change the course of things, being a bass player, fucking, but I thought I was going to have like this big reveal of my bald head. Nobody gave a fuck about what I was doing over there. So it was pretty humbling experience for me, thinking, wow, man,
I helped you cut that hair. I remember that now.
Oh yeah,
I barely knew you. I'm cutting my hair. Can I help?
Go right ahead. And but yeah, once Josh came in, that's when everything really turned around, and we started writing some new stuff, and we started playing a ton. And I remember our practice schedule. We'd practice 3 times a week, unless there was a show. If there was a show, it was every night for at least a week before.
Damn.
Right? If not 2. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, that was for a couple of years that way too.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we became
took the Leonard Skinner route, man. Just practice until you just know it frontward, backward, and just
it was tight.
play not even thinking.
Mm-hmm. And we did that in this tiny little room. And
I kind of mastered that with Lesson Zero, man, because having to fucking keep up with all the free shots that are coming up through the deck.
Right.
You have to figure out a way to make it rely on your muscle memory most times.
Muscle memory. Yep.
Yep. Although ours weren't free shots, they came in the form of free bottles and beers and cases, and come into practice all the time. And I mean, there was more drinking done, and that's what we became known as.
Yes,
Oh, man, that
you did.
fucking
Yes, you did.
As the
It's
band
like
that
a
could
mountain
drink.
of beer cans and shit.
Yeah. We outdrank
Watching-
many a bands,
Yep.
man.
Watching too many fucking
Now-
Pantera videos, man. The Pantera home videos, like,
Did that
those
ever?
guys.
Did that ever bite you guys in? Did that ever bite you guys in the ass?
One time that I can remember
When you guys did a show. I'm talking about shows now. You know.
Shows.
There's one time that I remember it really bit me in the ass, and I essentially fucked over the band. I think we had played in Kansas or no, maybe this is when we played at that
Indie Nation.
after the Gold Rush up in maybe it was in Morrison or I don't remember where it was. Or what
Was
it
it
was
that
something,
like House of Rock?
Maybe it was House of Rock. Could have been. Anyway, we were supposed to play a show.
That was up in Thornton.
We were supposed to play a show in Denver on the way back. And this is what I was telling you before, Christian, about it. I was like, I know it could be too much sometimes. We came back and we all decided to go watch a movie. And I was so sick. And we had to play a show. And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't. Everybody's like, fuck that. We'll go see this movie and you'll be fine. And I'm like, it's impossible. I can't do it. And I sat in the back of the car, burning hot outside while they're at a movie. And I'm like, oh God, I'm going to die. And I remember Josh was so fucking mad at me, but I'm like, we can't do it. We got to cancel. And they canceled the show. And Josh was not happy with me, man. And I understand why. I mean, I would have been the same way, but I couldn't stand. I couldn't do anything, man. It was so bad.
It was tiny. It was dark as shit with lots of red lights.
Like the Bottoms Up Tavern.
And there was like only the other band was there and the bartender.
Yeah, that was Bottoms Up. That was Bottoms Up Tavern. That dude did a review on us.
Right.
Is that when the guy? No, that's not when the guy did the review on us.
No, there was a guy that did a review. This is what I think what Josh is talking about. There's a guy that did a review on us, but it wasn't a published review. He actually got a hold of Cody and was like, "Hey, man, I came and listened to you guys last night, and I just wanted to give you." He's like, "I realize you don't know me from David, but I'm going to give you some."
It was like what 3 people in there that watched us play.
Yeah, and he's
including
like,
the blind guy that runs the PBS shit.
And but he was like, I'm going to give you guys some advice on some of these songs. And he had each song, like, dissected each one of the songs. So Cody came to us and was like, hey, man, this guy has these suggestions about cutting this part or making this shorter or, just to redo the – and we're like – at first we were all like, fuck that. Who the fuck is this guy, But then we're like, oh, let's give it a shot. And a lot of what he suggested worked, man. And we ended up changing a lot of stuff in it. So I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, but the
that's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, the one that I got sick. That was it was some bar, and I swear it was called like Gold Rush or something like that.
It wasn't X Saloon, was it?
No, it wasn't X.
No, it wasn't X.
But
was it Buffalo Rose?
Buffalo Rose. That's what it was. That
sounds
I vaguely remember the Buffalo Rose.
That's what it was, and it was like their grand opening.
You guys played there?
Yeah. And
not the Grizzly Rose.
The Buffalo Rose. Yeah.
But it ended up being a pretty, a pretty important show that we played because we got this info and we're like, and I remember Cody wrote him back like 6 months later, like, hey man, we gave this stuff a try. We just want to reach out and say thanks. First we were kind of like
track 2, man. Totally changed that song.
Yeah. Okay, so we got up to, playing a lot of shows in Denver. There became a point when at the time I was working at the Hungry Farmer. I had been there for many years, and I knew a kid, Ryan, who I'm not even sure how he ended up getting our stuff or how he ended up becoming a fan, but he was going to school at K-State, was it?
I
think so, yeah.
K-State's in Salina, right?
Yeah.
One of their campuses is, yeah. He was at the piloting portion of their school. So he brings our music out there and it gets passed around fairly rapidly. And he comes back and he's like, hey man, you guys, I think we become like the band of the month or something like that at K-State. Ended up they were playing us on the radio and all this, and we didn't know any of this was going on. So he comes back,
oblivious.
Yeah, he comes back and gets in touch with us, and he's like, yeah, you guys should come out and play this festival kind of thing that we do, right? And we're like, okay, whatever. That sounds like fun to us. We'll get to travel, whatever. And so that was the first time we went to Kansas. And Kenny was lucky enough to be the one, the first time anyway. I think didn't you have the van, right? And
that was for Noise Fest.
Yeah.
That was Noise Fest.
The first Noise Fest. So Kenny, he had this van. We all piled into this van. I think we had like a U-Haul in the back too, right? A little U-Haul trailer.
Yeah.
Had all our stuff, but I remember he had like a TV. We brought like gaming stations and shit. We're like, we're gonna play some Tony Hawk all the way there. Like,
Dave Mira, man. Dave Mira BMX, dude.
And, so we all pilot into this. We go out there, and we roll into Kansas. All of us are dead tired by this point. I don't know how. And Kenny was the only one allowed to drive. I'm sure for more reasons than it was his car, but it was,
yeah, wasn't my van.
He knew all you
So.
guys very well, and he was like, "Fuck y'all ain't driving my shit."
Okay, no way y'all are driving this car. But so we roll in. We're all really tired, and like the minute we roll in, I don't know if it was Ryan that took us down or if that one cat that ran the noise show.
It's Chris Croup, the guy that put the show on.
Chris Croup.
As soon as we got there, he's like, "Hey, you guys want to be on the radio?"
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Just getting out of the van.
And so we and I have the footage of this somewhere. Yeah. I don't know where, but I mean it was like a whirlwind. We get in, and I think Josh, you came separately, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get in.
Second time I rode in the bus with you guys, but
Right. So we get out. I mean, it's like a whirlwind. First, he takes us down to the Red Kitty, which is this little club out there where they play some metal.
Oh, that's where we met Bobby Tongs.
Yep.
Gave him a demo. Yeah. Bobby Tongs from fucking Pantera.
Yeah.
Terror Roadie.
Yep. And so then he sweeps us out of there and he takes us to this. And I mean, it was really bizarre. The whole thing was just so surreal the way it was happening. And he takes me and Kenny and Cody over to the radio station, right? He's like, we got to have you guys on. We got to, we're going to have you on. We're going to do an interview. And we're like, and I don't even remember. It was late at night. I mean, it was
very late.
It wasn't like it was early or something. And we go rolling in and we go in and I'm filming all of this. I'm like, this is just weird. I got us filmed in the elevator and everything. Go up the elevator. We walk into this radio studio and there's Gumby. Gumby's the
oh yeah,
the rock DJ out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
And he's like, holy shit, Intake's here, and they're as we walk in, they're playing one of our songs, and it was so surreal. And we did this interview on there, and I remember because I talked to Craig before I went, and he's like, dude, whatever you do, man, don't let Cody do the talking. He says, make sure it's you or Kenny that's talking. So who did all the talking? We let Cody do all the talking.
True. It's totally true.
Everyone else all clams up. They're like, oh.
Well, I was videoing, and them two sat at the table at the studio, and I was still kind of in shock by the whole thing, just by the treatment that we were getting and all this. I mean, we were just dudes from Colorado Springs. I mean, we didn't have much to say for crowds in the Springs or anything, but
bombarded at the Waffle House.
So Ryan had signage that he had like inside the house that he got like these guys to do. They had these big fucking banners and shit for us.
Right. Yeah.
Just got out there.
Yeah. So shout out to Ryan and Grant, man. Those guys, and I'll leave their last names out because they have, they're commercial pilots. But they opened up their house to us. If it wasn't for them, that it would have never happened that way out there. So those guys were awesome, and they opened up their house every time we were there. They're like, yeah, come on, and it was
the instant party house, that's for sure.
And it would be so crazy. The parties that would happen were so insane, and
yeah, I got the joy of driving back home that night to go back to work the very next morning.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Because I had that
way to take one
ass
for the
fucking
team,
shift.
Josh.
I would literally drive from Salina all the way back home, and then right when I got home, I'd go to work.
Oh my God. That's insane. I don't think I ever knew that. I'm sure you told us all that, but all I could think about was the beer that was waiting or whatever.
Yeah, I think we were drinking.
What drive is that? That's 2 hours and 3 minutes to Salida. Oh, Salida. Hold on.
Yeah, it's like I didn't know 2 hours. That was like it's like 6 or 8 hours or something like that.
It's like almost 7 hours.
Yeah, fun.
And So yeah, we went out there, and I remember we get to the show,
6 hours.
and they were talking up a big show, and we actually the first time we played pretty early in the day.
Early.
Yeah.
No, I think the first show we played later. The second show they had us play earlier, so they'd be a bigger crowd earlier in the day.
I thought it was vice versa. Either way, we had a good crowd at both shows.
Yeah.
We get up there and we do our set, and people they're going crazy. And I mean, this place it kind of looks like Acacia Park, right? Kind of like a little
similar.
It's similar, right?
It's wider.
Yeah,
It's
it was
wider.
definitely wider, but it was similar kind of setup with the stage is always there, kind of thing, permanent stage. But I remember we were just like, and I think it was the first show that I remember the panic setting in, because at the time we were playing through what was it, Line 6 heads or something like that. Well, Cody and I both had a Line 6 pedal, and Cody, one of the Cat 5 cables or whatever, had gone missing. So Cody's scrambling, right? He's like, "Oh my god!" And me at the time, I'm like, "What in the hell is a Cat 5 cable, dude?" He's like, "It's like a phone cable." I'm like, "So just grab a phone cable. It's not the same thing." and he's in a full-on panic, man. And I don't know where you found one or who you got to find one for you.
All the guys are fucking pilots and like aerospace guys. I'm like, "Oh yeah, Cat 5. Here you go, man. Here you go. Here's a 20-footer." It's how the pedal board talked to the head. So we couldn't change channels, we couldn't run any wah, couldn't do anything besides be heavy or not without that pedal board.
I just remember seeing the panic in Cody's face, and
fuck yeah.
At that point, I'm like, whatever. We'll just go clean or heavy, man. No biggie. And but we had a lot of fun doing that. That was, I mean, like I said, people went crazy, and I got a lot of I got a lot of pictures from that, and
lots of free drinks.
Oh, geez.
From fans.
Total rock star moment.
Sure.
Total rock star moment.
Man.
Going out there with the hoodie on and watching other bands just kind of chilling. You got kids coming up with their dollar bill. "Hey, man, sign this."
Yeah.
They recognize you for playing in that band. Like, what the fuck? Really?
So we got
how many Noise Fests did you guys end up doing?
We played 2 Noise Fests, but we went to Kansas a few times.
Yeah. We played Hayes. We played, I think,
Colby,
Kansas.
Yep. Colby, Kansas.
That was the crazy hotel.
That was fucking insane.
Just a crazy fucking show, man.
Oh, so
yeah, it's like you go in there and it's like this big ballroom, and and you're like, where the hell are the people going to come from to even come into this place? And they did. They came out of the damn woodworks.
It was a
storm.
Yeah, it was a massive snowstorm. And we were like, man, nobody's going to show up to Colby. Nobody lives here, right? Nobody that knows us. And that place packed, man, from front to back. Fucking, there were so many people there. And that was the first time that I remember we were playing a show, and Josh must have been, he was watching the people in the crowd, and he looks out and he puts his mic out in front of this kid, and he's singing the lyrics to our shit, man. And I was like, what the hell is going on here, man? I was so blown away by that. And,
we showed up in Kenny's dad's fucking that whole fucking bus.
The tour bus.
Yeah. Underneath. We fucking roll up, man. We look like a fucking legit band. Everything opens up, all the gear comes out. Fuck yeah, dude.
That's when we played that old strip club out there.
We played this old strip club.
Oh, that's a whole story in itself right there, that whole show. I mean, Jesus.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, so that the hotel show, after that show gets done, we all end up this is one of my more embarrassing stories.
I felt like
oh, this is awesome.
We all end up going well, first, I mean, the drinking continues until God knows when, but we all end up, not everybody, some of us end up going over, a bunch of people end up going over to the pool, or there's a hot tub and a pool.
Hot tub. There's a hot tub.
And well, there's a pool right next to it.
I jumped in the pool fully clothed, so.
Right. So, and I got into the hot tub fully clothed, and
because there was naked chicks in there.
Those are the same 2 chicks getting down on the fucking tables inside the auditorium.
Yeah.
Gross.
So, you slid right in next to him, dude. That was your call.
He's like, hey.
Oh God. Oh, so we get out. The partying continues a little bit, and I'm pretty sure that this is the one. It was because it was in the hotel when this happened. We all get up. I woke up the next morning, and I was the hotel had a laundry room, and I woke up asleep like on the dryers, right, with zero clothes on. I have nothing on, right, and I'm woken up by a mom and her little kid daughter, like, sir, are you okay? You okay? And I woke up and I'm like, holy shit! And I grabbed like a washcloth and I got it over my junk. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And they're like, no, man, we're hoping to get a autograph from you. We saw you play last night. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
And I timed this just perfectly to see him walking down the hallway as I was going out to get breakfast. And I was like, what are you doing, dude? You got like a little tiny bath towel over your dick, man. What are you doing out here? And he's all, dude, some kids just cornered me.
They cornered me. We get back. Well, when I get back, I realized that I'd been in the laundry room because I was drying my clothes. So I don't have pants at this point, right? All I have is I have 2 shirts. I have a long sleeve and like whatever undershirt I had on. So I'm like, what am I going to do, man? I don't have no pants to wear. We got to drive all the way back. And like, yeah, we're going to go get breakfast over wherever IHOP, wherever it was that we went.
Yeah.
We saw the same fucking chicks at the village the next morning.
Next morning, too. They were hungry.
So I get up. I was like, all right, screw it. I took my long sleeve shirt. I put my legs through the arms.
Yeah, you did.
Tied it up. Fucking. We go walking into this place. We didn't know that all these people were there. Everybody from the show is at this.
All the bands.
All the bands are there.
They had pulled all the tables together in the middle of the room, and it was a huge table of all these bands. And
you could
we
smoke
walk
back
in.
then, so it was a smoke fest.
Yeah, we walked in, and it was completely freaking dead silent for a second when we walked in, because everybody's like, "Uh-oh, here comes that band that just freaking partied till like 4:35 in the morning." They're still drunk, so it was horrible, man. And they just turned around and started laughing. Everybody was just laughing, and we actually made him get out at a truck stop and go buy some shit too.
Yeah, I was like, hey man, grab me some stuff. They're like, no, we ain't getting you nothing. Get out and get it yourself. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I gotta go wear my fucking shirt pants into this store real quick.
Oh, dude, it was a nightmare, man. It was funny, but it's funny now. At the time, I tried to be as cool with it as I could, but all I could think was that lady and her kid looking at me in the face when they woke me up, and I'm just sitting there, butt ass naked on the dryers of this place. I'm like, how did I not get arrested? And then come to find out about, what was it? I don't remember how much longer, but somebody in the band, maybe it was Cody. We got a thing talking about all this damage that was caused to the hotel.
No,
and
wasn't us, but we got blamed for it.
No, that's what I'm saying. We got a thing about how much. They're like, well, you guys caused this much damage, and we're like, no, we didn't. Our rooms were perfectly fine. And
the auditorium, we took those little moving carts, and people would push them as fast as they could with someone on the cart holding on, smacking into the wall or smacking into each other. Like a bunch of adolescent teenagers.
We did that too. I got footage of us doing it.
I did that. Awesome. It was fun.
Oh crap.
I don't know, man. That DJ dude came out that second show, and he announced us and everything, and it was total like rock star fucking moment.
Yeah.
Crowd knew the fucking material. When we busted into our like fucking cover that we had with Helmet and Rage and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we busted into that fucking Helmet thing, the fucking dude's just like, oh my god, look at that. He's just fucking freaking out because we're doing the fucking intro.
That's the same one.
Psycho, System of a Down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we couldn't curse because it was 3:00 in the afternoon, so you couldn't say "fuck you." I won't do what you tell me. So
Was that
fuck you, doing the fucking in and out thing during the fucking fuck part.
was that the college radio station?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
No
I'm not sure if
idea.
it was college or just the local city one. I don't remember what it was, but I remember that the rock hour that they did, that Gumby did, and he was like some kind of legendary DJ out there. But he ended up getting pushed out of work or something like that. They started bringing in all the computers and they were getting away from the rock or something. I don't remember, but I remember he ended up losing his job, and it sucked. I mean, it sucked for him anyway. And I mean, he did really cool for us. Got a lot of exposure for us.
Yeah.
For
I know
sure.
Chris, the guy that put that show on. I mean, that Noise Fest, the first year or two he did it, Drowning Pool played it, so that was always a big claim to fame. yeah, a band played that show and they fucking got signed. You know, this is late 90s, early 2000s. It was a big fucking deal, man.
Yeah.
It's like that vein that goes from Texas through the Midwest, goes right up through that Kansas area. And kids are hardcore about it, man.
Omaha.
They're not fucking around.
Yeah.
Like, man, fucking metal out. Yeah.
There was I got some really good CDs from that time. From those, I don't remember what the band's names were now, but when Craig and I were detailing cars.
Habitual Ritual?
Yeah, that was one of them.
Yeah, I remember that.
I
remember that.
I had a car from Kent and all my CDs were in it. And somebody broke into it and stole all those CDs, man. Completely irreplaceable stuff. And but those bands were really good. You know, they had some really good bands out there.
Yeah, some out of like Topeka and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Topeka was big. Yeah.
Yeah,
what's the name of Chris's band? Chris Krupp. It's like Gear Shift or some shit.
I think you're right. I think it was
Downshift
or Low Gear.
Low Gear. Oh, Militia. His band was Militia.
Low Gear was the band from Texas.
Oh, that's
Low Gear. Yeah, okay. Low Gear, and then his band was Militia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Oh man. So Kenny, how was it driving us all out there?
Y'all having a bunch of fun and me driving?
Sounds sucky.
That's how it was.
Oh,
he got paid in beer when we got there, so
that's right. It all worked out in the long run. It all worked out.
Well, we've had Josh on the show before, man. But for Craig and Kenny and Cody, how are you guys surviving this fucking pandemic that we're in?
Barely. Barely playing shows. It just really sucks, you know.
Yeah.
Had some real good shows lined up for the Death Ride. We were supposed to play up at Herman's and up in Denver, and
the Herman's show got canceled.
Everything's been canceled.
Yeah, we were talking about that on the last one with Josh. Yeah.
Has the is it still the Rocky Mountain Metal Fest? Is that still tentative for January now, or has that been cut?
Yeah, supposedly January 22nd.
Yeah.
But who knows, really?
Do you play anymore, Kenny, at all?
I don't. I haven't had drumsticks in my hand for a long time now.
Yeah. You miss it?
I do. Of course, I think about it almost daily.
Yeah.
Almost daily. I think about it all the time. I miss it. I wish I would have kept it up, but after I left Colorado, I mean, I just lost pretty much all my drive to. I didn't even care to play with anybody else, to be quite honest.
You know, that's kind of the same boat I've been in ever since I left. I'm like, I'm sure I could find some people to play with.
I probably could, and people told me that. I think Cody told me, Craig told me that at one time, and I'm sure you did too.
Mm.
Find somebody to play with, but man, I didn't have the drive that I had with you guys.
Yeah, what's going on there, Josh?
I was getting all dark.
He's lighting himself.
Yeah.
BLM. Good job, buddy. Good job, man.
See?
That's much gooder.
Blair Witch, man.
Leave it on.
That's good stuff. Cody, you said you had stopped playing, right? And just picked up again? Chopped some garbage or what?
Garbage. Total garbage. Same strings on there from when the last time I put it away, so until I get good, they're not getting changed. It's not worth it.
It won't take you long, man. It's just a matter of getting back into it. You know?
The only experience I got is taking the acoustic up, like camping and stuff, and busting out like a bunch of covers. You know, like Everlong's always cool, and I could always do those center A passages of Metallica, whether it's Unforgiven or Let Us to Die. You know, that kind of stuff. You just muscle memory is always there, but camping's about it.
So as far as the recordings that we got to do, now we ended up recording a full-length album that ended up taking years. And
recording didn't take years.
The
recording did take years.
But
the technology progressed so we could do some stuff.
Well, the more I've thought about this, because for a long time I was like, man, if Cody just would have been okay with it, we would have got it put out, right? Well, I listened to what it ended up, and I'm sure it's probably even gone past what I have at this point. But what I ended up with is a really good recording. I mean, the sound on it's really good.
But where we recorded it, dude, it's amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
And to be fair, we laid it all in Cody's lap. We're like, okay, you take care of it.
You got a computer, do it.
And now he was all for it. It's not like we forced him. He was like, I'll do it. No big deal.
But Christian, let me explain this. So, a drummer has a lot of instruments, right? A lot of things he's hitting. So in order to get a good drum sound, you have to have those individually mic'd, and you have to have room mics and all this other stuff. I got a stereo track to work with everything.
In a garage.
In a garage.
Literally.
And you can tell the cold days because the snare's tuned different, because the really cold days it's tuned a lot lower than it is on the warm days. So.
The fucking wires are all like
it's like keek, keek, keek. So it wasn't until this is the early days of the Andy Sneap Metal Forum, like this mixing guy. He's real famous, and he would replace drum shit basically with samples. So as soon as I figured out how to do that, the two biggest things lacking in the mix was the snare and the bass drum, which is a big no-no when you record drums.
Yes.
As soon as I replaced those,
you build everything else around the snare.
It sounded real. Like, hey, it's fucking fixed.
Nice.
Yeah, didn't we end up recording all those songs twice, Cody, or was it just the one time? Because that seems to me we started recording in Brock's garage at one point.
We did on a
that's where I
Roland
recorded the vocals.
VS840 8-track digital recorder on zip discs, which I sent everything in stereo on drums, 2 guitars, 1 bass, 2 vocal lines. That's all we had, because that's all I had tracks for, right? And that was it.
Well, you ended up redoing at least some of the vocals at the other practice place that we had set up that garage.
I think so.
And,
I think so.
I thought we'd recorded everything there.
We did the first demos which we sent off to Arizona to get mastered. Those were done at Brock's garage. And then when we did everything over at the west side in the detached garage, that was all done on the computer. Same program that Crooked House was using, the Cool Edit Pro. Chris is the one to turn me on to that, because that's what Salt was using.
Right.
So I got hooked up to that. I'm like, all right, cool, man. But still had the limitations of I only have so many inputs.
Right.
Fuck, there's nothing I could do.
And that recording though really did come out. I mean, it's for how we did it and where we did it. I mean, it sounds just amazing. It really. I mean, I listen to it to this day, and I'm normally, pretty biased to shit I've recorded. I like listening to all the stuff I've done in recording, but that in particular one, just the sound of it is really, I mean, it's top notch, man. Cody spent a lot of time, and there's the more the years have passed and the more I've heard it now, I'm like, okay, I can see why he took the time, because it really did make a difference. It really did. So I commend you for that. And you took a lot of heat from us, from all of us. Like, come on, man, let's put it out.
There's no end. What do you mean? There's no end.
And it's unfortunate that we never got to release it. It really is. But I'm glad that we had it. I don't know if everybody here has
it. It's never too late, fuckers.
Here's the thing that sucked about that, because I sent over all this shit because I got these extra hard drives because I got a new computer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the fucking drives, and Brian pings me saying, hey, let's interview this week or whatever. I'm like, dude, by the way, check out all the shit I'm finding. Here's the fucking cover. Here's the inlay. Here's the disc. Here's everything. It was all done, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you put it out now? What the fucking problem is?
All the stuff's in Cubase, and I'm not using Cubase anymore. I want to do another take at it.
No.
Yeah.
Whoa, hold up.
That's not how this works.
It's forced the original
you already
files.
have a product.
I don't have unmastered WAV files.
See,
literally, it's gone.
That's exactly what we read into last time. We're like, cool, it's done. He's like, well, hold on. How about we do this?
Fucking engineers, man.
This drive will not fire. It's on this drive.
I remember problem. I remember I did a lot of videoing during our recording process. We're gonna put like a little DVD together. We wanted to do, or that's something I wanted to do anyway. Put with the release. But I remember when it came time for Josh to do his parts, and I was pretty impressed with everybody. Everybody played really well. Everybody was on top of it. And for lack of better words, for the fuck ups that we were with drinking and everything, when it came to recording, we were all very focused and very, we were really on top of it.
Sober days. But
I remember when Josh got in and sang, and I remember being like, I was really taken aback watching you do your parts. I remember thinking, holy shit, man, it's so much different on the recording than it was live. I mean, there's a,
and if we'd have had more tracks, you would have heard more shit. Ask Craig.
Yeah, it was good. It was so good that I was really like, not that I didn't approve of it before that, but I was like, okay, this is why we have this guy in the band. I mean, he's not only the energy and the focus that he can bring from fans to us, but I mean, just he's brilliant in the studio. I mean, it's really sounded good, and I'm really happy with all that stuff. I was starting to put all our stuff, get it all put over to DVD, and I got like a few discs done. And then I don't know where everything is. I don't even know if I have my DVDs of it anymore.
Son of bitch, why bring it up then?
I don't know.
I never saw the stuff he's talking again about.
Now I'm going to have to look for mine.
I might still have, like the ones I sent Ken, I probably still have those somewhere. But there was a lot of other tapes. I mean, we had a lot of tapes that we could have.
Remember when you were still here in the Springs, I went over to your house and was watching some terrible shows with Maya at the music hall.
I had those on. I had a lot of stuff.
They weren't good.
We still have that that TV show from PBS that we did.
TV show.
Oh, that's another one, Christian. We got to play. We had to do this. This happened from that same Buffalo Rose show, I think.
The blind dude that ran that show.
Right.
What the fuck was the name of that? Hold on. What the fuck was the name of his show?
I can't remember.
Intervision.
Intervision. So we got to play this. We got to play this.
Is that a cable access show on PBS?
It was
pretty sure. All the internet hits are totally different. It's not the same guy. I've seen the same guy doing the same show, and his production value's gone way up. Now it's way better. It's still not good. It's still like public access, but it's way better than it was.
Well, here it is.
Here it
is. It's 2020, and you guys are back on public access.
Yeah, so we got to do that show. It was like a morning talk show or something like that. And
hi, welcome to Intervision. Here's our cup of tea. We got Intake on the show for you guys today.
Is it Johnny J? Special. Is this the guy? Johnny J? Is that him? Hold on.
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm trying to find him.
So he was this blind guy him and this lady, I think she was an older lady. Well, older to us at the time anyway. We're talking many years ago, but
dressed like a school teacher.
Yeah. So, and they're doing it. It was weird. I remember they don't talk about anything like that has to do with our kind of music or anything. But anyway, they're like.
What do you mean, you people?
It kind of reminded me. Of Coming to America. You know, like sexual talks. Like, boy, them boy good.
Is it Johnny Johnson? Is that him?
Johnny or Johnson?
Johnny Johnson?
I saw a picture of him, man, and he looks like a fucking amazing person, man.
He's cool as shit.
Big old dreads.
And he looked like Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. We're in the studio. It's like
across from the wrestling ring.
That's right. There was wrestling going on.
Wrestling.
And, but we go
Johnny
in there.
Johnson.
It was like I remember it was like this really white, sterile room that we were in. And
it's like Wonka Vision.
It was so bizarre.
It was
so bizarre. We're
good.
We do our song, and then they came over and they come over and they interview us a little bit, and all of us are just kind of standing there like, this is weird. So Josh did all the talking. We're like, this is so bizarre, man. But and I think it was before the show that we were sitting outside waiting to be able to go in, and like Cowboy and Redneck are with us and all that, and everybody's outside drinking. We're all outside drinking. But yeah, and then we went in, and there's the wrestlers, and then we did the show, and we drove home. And I never did see. I don't think I ever saw the show air, but I did
on VHS.
Yeah, because I think I don't know if I put that one on to video or onto DVD.
I've got it on my Google Drive.
We watched it. We thought it sounded like butt.
Ship that shit over to Brian, man.
It sounded terrible.
I'll send it to you.
Christian, being an audio guy, it's like, all right, so what are you guys going to do for mixing? It's like, well, our sound guy, he's going to put a mic up and he's going to aim it real good. I'm like, that's what you're doing? And he's like, yeah, he's pretty good though. He's got this one fucking. That's it. That's all we got. That for the whole band and Josh with his mic.
Yeah.
That went into the board.
We call that shit omnidirectional and shit.
Oh, look at that. He does have it.
Nice.
Johnny Johnson and
Yeah,
Holly.
buddy.
Holly
There you
Cock. Holly Cock. What the fuck's the name? Is that Holly Cock?
Johnny Johnson and Holly Cock. Now that is a fucking show I would have watched.
That
day long.
right there.
It's definitely got a porno vibe. That's for sure.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, lay back for some inner vision. Oh yeah.
Oh, crap.
It's not porn, I promise.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah. That was a lot of fun.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Wow.
him.
Yeah, but that guy was so nice. He saw us at, and I guess that's how we ended up getting on the show. He saw us at that same Buffalo Rose show where the
No,
other
he
guy.
didn't see us. He heard us.
Oh,
Oh.
damn.
Stand corrected again.
We're gonna get some hate mail for that.
Oh.
We're gonna get some
Also-
hate mail for Josh's joke.
Oh.
Didn't somebody say that we were too loud at some point?
Yeah, we got complaints because we were too loud.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
The fuck?
Same gig.
oh man,
Yep.
that was too.
He enjoyed it.
So we made sure we were extra loud for the last song. Extra loud.
We sure did too. We turned that shit up.
We did. We turned our shit up.
11.
We were extra loud.
That's right, because we played the one, and then we had to play another song at the end of the show or something like that. So, like, yeah, we're gonna hear once again this intake, and we're like, okay, turn it up, man.
It reminds
Yeah,
me of one of the
You
last
guys are
gigs
too
we
loud.
played.
Well, yeah, okay, we're gonna turn it down.
Yeah, right.
Wrong direction.
So the guy that was running
We-
sound over at the Gardens, he had that place up at Woodland Park, his little music thing that he did, and we were with that band from Vegas. What's the name of that band?
Hemlock.
Yeah. So the dude running
Oh,
sounds
that's
like
right. That's right.
Was
He's
that
telling
the
us,
one
okay.
up in
Woodland
Woodland
Park.
it's in Woodland
Yeah.
Park of all places.
Yeah.
So Hemlock is the headliner, and we're the going on right before him. It's like, how much more time we got? You guys need more like 20 more minutes.
Whoa.
And he fucking kept pushing us like,
Yeah.
you need another 10 minutes.
Right.
So then
yeah.
There's a
It's
lot
like
of cocaine here, man. Hemlock's kind of busy.
it's like fucking 10:30, 11 o'clock. They're going on. They're like, fuck you guys, man. You totally fucked us. What the fuck, man? We're listening to the fucking guy running sound. He's
Then we
got the
tagged
boss,
her.
not us.
Then we tagged their trailer with
We
one of our
tagged his
stickers.
trailer with
Yeah.
the-
Wait, that was the band that fucking told you that?
The band got pissed at us,
Oh, yeah, they were pissed.
but it wasn't.
Yeah,
It
it was
wasn't
like-
us,
Motherfucker, you could be on deck at your fucking set time.
right? I forgot all about that.
The
Holy crap.
only gig we ever played with Hemlock, and yeah, they hated us.
Oh.
We got him. We got him back though.
But we played with them since, and they still remember me from intake.
Really?
Do they?
Damn. We're at the mark.
And they're all cool with me and shit. So
It's funny. I played with them with Malachi, and I remember them. They're like, "Man, you look really familiar." I had forgot that we played with those guys, and I forgot they were there. And
It's just the five of us together that they hate.
Yeah, it's just the five of us
just the
together.
collective group.
I hate
Yeah, that
that
was-
fucking band. These guys are cool. Fuck that band.
Yeah.
Sound guy's name.
He
I don't know.
tried to open that one deal off of North Carefree and Academy, that little venue.
Paradise City was
there.
his then, right? That's where
Oh, you're talking
Bicycle
about,
City is
talking
now?
about Shane.
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 correct.
Yes.
Shane Houts.
Yeah, Shane
Yeah.
Houts. He's a good guy.
I just go
guy.
Village.
Yeah, we played a show. How many? We played one or two shows there.
Yeah, to nobody.
Well, I remember because we played with Diamoniacal there one time, and so I remember James coming up and looking at my guitar and shaking his head in disapproval, like, okay. And, I don't know.
You should stick to bass, Brian.
What's the name of that band? The Rocky Mountain something something.
The fuck?
Oh,
Something.
it wasn't. No, that was their tagline. It wasn't.
A killer name
Upper.
for a band.
It wasn't Supper, obviously. Oh, we played with them a lot there for some reason.
That's my next band, by the way. Rocky Mountain something something.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Sounds like a weed strain.
What would you guys say was your favorite song, whether it was a cover or one of our originals? What was the favorite to perform?
Pain.
Pariah.
Pain, really?
Pariah was my
favorite
Pariah.
song. Favorite
my
song.
favorite one.
Pariah, I can see that for Kenny because it had that weird little turnaround in it.
That was the most fucking fun song to play, man. It was so fun to play.
Yeah.
I liked Bent, and I also liked Untied.
The Deftones rip off.
That was a good song now.
Rip off or not, you hear rip offs and songs all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Who cares? A good song's a good song.
It's one of the few songs I fucking brought in is like, all right, here's how it goes.
Well, hold on.
Kenny
Before
you fucking sped it up like fucking 50. He's like, all right, it's gotta be up here faster.
Before you call
I really liked what was the one you sent me, Craig? Lost?
Yep.
I totally forgot about that tune. That's a good ass fucking song.
It is.
Yeah.
Craig sent it to me. I'm like,
good.
I don't even recall this song, and I'm like, oh, this is a good ass song, man.
Well, we never ever played it live. Yeah.
Not once.
Yeah. It was
Nope.
just
we never played it live.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, that's a good ass song too.
Yeah.
We never finished that tail
is a good
section towards the outro. We never finished out the fucking vocals. We just kind of ran out of. We're done. We're done.
But
Good enough. We're done.
before you call Untied a Deftones ripoff, I got the best story for that. We came to a part into that song where all of us were stumped. We're like, we don't know what to do. And Cody comes to practice one day. I don't remember if we were recording at the time when you did it or if it must have been right before. But he comes, he goes, check this out, and he plays us this part. And we're like, yeah, that works, man.
Oh, yeah.
It works. And he goes,
That's a ripoff.
he goes, that's a straight James Brown ripoff. I mean, straight up James Brown, man. And I thought that was so great. And that's probably like my favorite part of that song too. What was your favorite, Craig?
Angels.
I think
Yeah.
Angels
Angels is probably second for me.
Yeah, Angels is really good too. The intro to that's fucking awesome.
yeah. And,
Yeah.
That's Brian's baby, man. So
what's that?
because I was trying to learn the song and I couldn't play it the way he wanted, so I had to figure it out acoustic with no distortion, and that's how the intro came. Because I put on the clean tone. I'm like, okay, these are the chords. Like, oh, that kind of sounds cool.
That was the one. That was the
How did it feel for a bass player to tell you that he didn't like the way you played a guitar part?
Well, check this out. When I brought that song,
That's Brian.
this was a good. It took a long time, man. We butted heads over that.
Yeah.
Where I was like, and I remember going to Christian and Ken. I'm like, he's not playing it right, and he's missing this note. And now when I hear it, there's no way I could even think of how it was before, because those guys were like, dude, it sounds exactly the same, but you're doing it when he's doing it. I'm like, but
I think it's still wrong.
It was such a thorn in my side at the time. Something that, I mean, the whole term "pick your battles." What a stupid battle for me to try and die on that hill for that shit. I'm like, man, the song came out great. It was a really good song, and but I fought tooth and nail for that, man, and it never came around to what I was hearing. And finally, once we recorded it and I heard it and we played it so much, like I said, I don't even think I could remember what it was when it was originally done, or however it was we originally did it.
Christian, have you heard any of our stuff before?
I have.
Yeah.
I have. Yeah.
And,
I was actually a closet fan of your guys' band, just because I remember coming into the club here. I don't remember which show it was, but I remember coming into the club and immediately having to do this. And when you have to do this is, you know what I mean? That is a innate reaction. I didn't even have to think about it. You know what I mean? And the grooves, some of them grooves were pretty fucking deep and hard.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the one of the first times I felt really good, like we were getting to people, was we were playing some weird all day long, like Battle of the Bands or something at Tequila's.
And Ajax had the
I remember
fucking
that.
ADATs. We're blown away by.
We were playing one of our songs, and I remember Sis coming around the corner, because we ended up having to go on at like 1 a.m. This thing had been going on since like 1 in the afternoon or something. So it was.
I think every band in town was on that bill.
Something like that. It was a lot of people. And, but I remember Sis coming around the corner, just like, "Holy shit, that's a fucking awesome song you guys are playing." And I remember that because I remember we were pretty upset by getting pushed so late in that show because we weren't supposed to.
That.
We weren't supposed to play that late.
We all wanted to bail on it. We all said, "Fuck it."
Right, and they kept pushing us back and kept pushing us back, and but yeah, when he showed up, that one meant a lot for me. You know, I was like, "Oh, okay, good. You know, at least somebody's here and he hears it." And
the very first one in Music Hall, and
yeah.
He came down off the top and he's on the side stage, just fucking doing his nod of approval, you know, when he's in the groove or something.
It was really easy, man. It was really easy for people to do that.
Yeah, and he's you know, Sis is the reason why we got to open up for Suicidal, and at least the first. Did we open up for them more than once?
Just once.
I've opened up for him multiple times, but it must have just been once with Intake. But yeah, he was the one that got us on that show, and I remember that show going to that. Remember how nervous Cody was. He's like, "Man, this is not our kind of crowd. Fucking, this is he was kind of freaked out.
These fucking cholos are going to fuck us up, hoes."
And the music hall was packed for that show too.
So many guys. Hey, man, you're not the guy.
Yeah.
What's up, widow?
That was a scary show, man. That was a
Josh,
scary show.
were you with us when that show, or was that still Jeremiah?
That was Jeremiah.
Josh. That was
Jeremiah.
Oh,
was
Josh is froze.
That was Jeremiah.
Josh frozen.
You got to be shitting me. We did that show with fucking
I think it was Jeremiah.
It was Jeremiah.
Because it was one.
Remember, he crashed into my fucking drums and fucking damn near killed me. Yeah, y'all don't remember?
Help.
He tripped or something, backed into my fucking drum kit, knocked all of my fucking cymbals and shit on me. I was freaked out the rest of that entire show.
All right.
So the only other band we ever opened for was a band called Beautiful Creatures from Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
So I had to look this up recently to figure out why this was important. The former singer of a band called Bang Tango from the 80s, the glam band, that was the singer.
Really?
Right, whatever. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The guitar player, the guy that had all the other Line 6 gear, because that's what we were rocking, he was a very famous guitar player. We didn't know it yet. That was a guitar player named DJ Ashbaugh. Went on to play with Guns N' Roses in 6 a.m.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, like, I see him because he's a fucking phenomenal guitar player, just fucking rocking. But, yeah, he played with GNR. He played with Axl. And, yeah, he wrote a lot of that shit with 6 a.m.
Fat Axl. Fat Axl. Let's not get it twisted.
Fat Axl. Oh, shit.
Yeah, those were the when you guys were rocking those Line 6 stadium heads, right? And they were going to leave, and they ended up coming back in and watching us.
I think so.
And we had a band that did that. Right. They were from Arizona. That's how we got that first CD master, because of that band from Arizona, which I can't remember.
So
I can't remember either.
What do you guys think?
Oh, Sanctum AZ.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh my god. What would you guys think was like? And I've been thinking about this for especially the past week. What do you think, like, as a band, our biggest influence was? I mean, to me, it's hard really to say. I mean,
I've never been quick to tell that to anybody, really, because I feel honestly like we truly did our own thing. I think. I mean, we really didn't imitate anyone. I don't think. So every time everybody, well, what kind of music was it? You know, what was your influences? All music. I listened to all kinds of music. You know.
Right. And anytime I've been asked, I tell them, I always go back to that story about the James Brown riff. I'm like, you know, we borrowed from everywhere. We did everything. And, so yeah, is Josh coming back?
You guys are definitely not scared to throw your influences out there in your songwriting, and that's a lot of the draw that it had for me.
Yeah,
because you guys weren't stuck in the format that everybody else may have been following at that time. You know what I mean? You guys weren't afraid to go ahead and reach a little further, which I appreciated because, you know, here I am trying to do fucking industrial music in this town.
Right.
So I appreciated, I appreciated you guys reaching out further than a lot of the bands. That's what made you guys so unique, I thought.
You also made it hard to write a song.
Fuck yeah. Like, you know, you're only as good as your last fucking song. So
right.
Yeah. It got hard, man. You know, and towards the end there, I mean, once Kenny left and shit, I moved in my first fucking house and Kenny had left and it just fucking, for me personally, it just.
Well, and then it also coincided with the ebb and flow of our fucking scene in this town.
Right.
You know what I mean? There were years where we were fucking stacked with talent and bands and shows and venues. And then there were those years where there wasn't a lot going on now and again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It always, from the time I got here in 93 to, you know, the last show I did with Less Than Zero in 2017, I think it was, I noticed those ebbs and flows a lot, where the scene was fucking really strong, and then all of a sudden, you know, people weren't into live music that much for a time period, and then it would come back up again. You know what I mean?
Right.
You guys were in a good time period, though, man. I mean, late 90s into mid 2000s. That was one of the upticks for us, you know.
Yeah.
At the end, right after, as you guys were going out, a lot of that was on the downside again. You know what I mean?
I remember going to fucking watch Chris mix and stuff. I'd just go down and hang out with him or whatever. And it's like, hey, tell me what's going on. It's like, man, yeah, I see some of these kids and some of these bands, you know. He just would go on and on. It's like, they're so fucking cool because this. Before Gent hit, before so many things had hit, you know. And he would talk about bands that are still good to this day, but I don't know who they are here in Springs.
With the way the internet has kind of evolved since we were, you know, I remember when we got our first website, you know, we were pretty jazzed, but didn't really know what it could do for us all that much. I mean, it was never a thought of doing digital music or you know, shit like that. It was more or less like a merch store, really, or what's coming kind of store, what we're doing. How do you guys think it would have affected us had we made it, or say if we were in today's time?
Wait, Intake didn't have a MySpace?
No, did we?
No.
Yeah, we did.
MySpace was after Intake.
No.
Was it?
No, we had a MySpace because
I didn't run it.
Wasn't it?
Wasn't me.
Because Josh. Oh, it was just intakeband.com. Because Josh would never say the three W's. It was always intakeband.com. And so, you know, how do you guys think it would have impacted us? Say if we're in the internet now, you know what I mean?
It definitely would have helped with distribution.
Yeah.
You know, we already had people out, you know, in the Midwest that really wanted the music. We just couldn't get enough copies out there, you know. I think it would have sold really well if we could have done that, but, you know, we were just money strapped at the time. So if you could, you know, just put it on Spotify now or something, you know, and okay, great. You don't really make anything off of it, but at least you can get some draw to your website for some merch sales and things like that. But
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the coolest moments to see you at your CD release when Malachi had the Monday fucking release. I thought it was fucking rad. I was still blown away. It's like, why did we not do this? Why did we not? Why?
Right.
I just couldn't get my head around it still. And that sucked. To this day, I still see Intake stickers on vehicles in Colorado Springs.
Nice.
Yeah,
I've seen a few.
Yep, I do too.
Not just Holly's, because that was the first one I noticed, but
that reminds me, Josh. Where did that video come from for Untied? We were talking about Untied.
I made it.
You made that video?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm probably.
Yep, I found. I went online looking for like abuse videos, And then I came across that
weirdo.
one.
You thought of our song?
And yeah, and as long as I'm not making, and you can pretty much use anything.
Don't listen to us, FBI. Don't listen to us.
No, you can pretty much use anything you
I gotta
want with
go.
the Fair
I
Rights
gotta
Act
go.
as long as you're not making any money.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll attach that. Link will be in the bio down there.
All right.
Below Cody. We'll put that in the bio for people to come check it out. You know, it's maybe Cody could actually put up some music and, you know, get our music.
Yeah,
out there.
maybe y'all could release a record and shit that y'all been holding on to for years.
So the 20-year anniversary, right? When was it
20 years.
released? Was it officially 2003? Is that right?
03,
Remember
04,
right?
something like that.
Yeah, around 03, 04.
No, you know what, Cody? We're not waiting till 20. That gives him 3 years to fuck with this thing some more. So no.
Yeah.
No.
That's way
Cody.
too much time. Way too much time.
I gotta start all over again because, like I
So-
said, the hard drive is fucked.
But it sounds great as it is. Sounds great.
We could do some new overdubs. Eh?
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Oh, just so everybody.
You don't only have 2 vocal tracks anymore, Josh.
And just so I don't know.
Want to hear some Josh?
I don't know if all you guys are aware, but we are covering 3 time zones right now during this interview. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's been so
yeah.
so this whole
Crazy.
we're gonna redo everything. Yeah, it's gonna make it a little more difficult.
Kenny, all you gotta do is get an electronic kit, record everything to MIDI. I'll plug it into something else, and it'll sound fucking cool. Be your shit.
Kenny, you got all the time in the world for that, don't you?
Yep, you don't have any children.
Well, let's see.
Dude, they probably make an electronic drum kit right on your phone.
Right.
Yeah, just
I'll get right after that, right to that after about 70 hours. We get right on that.
So let's see. We covered the beginning. We covered kind of the Kansas years. You know, after Kansas, we're still playing a lot of shows here in the Springs. I honestly think, you know, for me personally, the amount that I was drinking, and I know most of us were drinking that much, but the amount that I was drinking, you know, started to affect, you know, like almost lost my job and shit like that. And so it did become an issue for me, and how much drinking was around us. I mean, it was like every night, you know, when we ended up getting Brock as our manager, which was great at the time, but man, the amount of people that were around all the time really kind of made it hard to make any progress, you know, to make any musical progress. And just so everybody knows, you know, Josh, it was kind of like, it was the 4 of us more or less. Josh was like, you know, I'll have some beers with y'all every now and again, but I'm not a part of that crap. He was the smart one. And,
I don't know. I do a little more partying now than I did then.
yeah, and it was fun.
There's one reason behind that, but we won't go into that.
Yeah, right.
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
But you know, and it was fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. But I mean, it was definitely it was out of hand. I mean, it was out of hand, the amount that we did. And so, but I remember the show when Kenny told us, because the reason why we had dissolved was because Kenny got a job offer and he was moving to Georgia, right? And that where you went?
Yep.
So, but I remember we were playing that like a house show up in Monument.
Yeah, at Stacy's house.
Yeah, and so I
Rick
remember
and
playing
Stacy.
that, and I remember at the end of it, Kenny just basically sat us down. He's like, "Yeah, guys, I gotta stop, man. I'm leaving in like a week or 2 weeks." And we're like, "What? Like, you know, what the hell?" And he was like, "Yeah, I've known for a while. I just didn't know really how to tell everybody." And so we were all kind of shocked, but like Craig and I were determined to carry it on, to keep it going. And what had happened was we tried to get our feelers out for looking for new drummers, and it didn't last very long. I think it came to a point where we were just like, you know what, you know, we can't replace Kenny. You know,
Yeah, maybe we'll just take a break and see what happens.
right.
You know,
And
that's kind of where we were.
and it just kind of
Sure.
dissolved at that point, you know. And I you know, I wish it had lasted longer. I wish we could have carried on. But I don't think it would have. At that time, being as such young musicians that we were, it always felt weird to have new people in it. You know, now when Josh came in, that was weird for me having Josh come in, but he fit in really well and it was real quick. And
so a need versus we have to have.
Right.
We need this. Trying to replace Kenny is more of a fuck, man. How do you replace your brother?
Right. I mean, you know, a founding member. It was just tougher at that point, and you know, for Craig and I, it started feeling kind of like we were having to work to do it, and we're just like, you know, let's just take hiatus or whatever. Let's just simmer it down for a little while, and it just kind of everybody just kind of moved on from there, and it's unfortunate, but you know, I think it was definitely Intake was a lot of fun. You know, we have these everybody has the times in their lives when they have something that happens where you kind of equate that period of your life to when you, like when I think of Intake, that's a big chunk of my life, even though it was only 4 or 5 years.
Seems a lot longer.
It does, and
it does seem longer.
Good time, man.
There was a lot of great experiences. I mean, we all went through September 11th in that band. You know, we were.
Mm-hmm.
Down at Brock's house,
right?
Watching that live,
right?
And
we got done, and we were in the living room, fucking watching that shit,
right? And we were also together when the Texas 7 happened in Colorado Springs, which was, I think, the year before or the summer before 9/11. And if you don't know that story, then look it up.
My buddy Steve Avis sold him the van they had.
Yeah, well, I was working at the Hungry Farmer. We were the ones that called him in to come get it. And,
that's right.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's funny because when we called it in, I had borrowed Craig's Acura that day to drive to work. We went to dinner with
some lunch with his
dad. So I'm sitting there, and I'm supposed to be getting off work, and Craig's always like, "You can borrow, just don't fucking be late, right?" So calling him, I'm like, "Dude, I'm literally stuck by the ATF and the FBI at the Farmer. You can put it on CNN. You can see your car right there on CNN.
Turn on CNN right now.
I'm not going anywhere.
You want to see the Acura? There it is.
There it is. I promise it's safe." And
I did too. I saw it on TV.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we went through. You know, there's a lot of great experiences from that time, and definitely, all in all, a happy memory for me. You know, I know that things
definitely
had gotten
great time for me. Loved it, man.
Right. You know, and things had you know, like gotten hairy between Cody and I, whatever, over the years, and all that stuff. Again, it's just not. You know, I really enjoy that we're doing this. I'm glad. You know, and I hope all that stuff can become water under the bridge, because it's just not worth it. It's not worth.
I'll say right now, just for the record, whatever is going on, whatever it's been, it's all water under the bridge, man. I don't care.
It is, and it has been. It has been for me. You know, I just didn't know. Me personally, I didn't know how this would work. I didn't know how you felt about it. You know, I just figured, fuck it, I just won't deal with it.
You know, I am, man. It's fucking hot at the beginning, but I'll mellow out.
Yeah.
But,
and so it's. You know, I'm really glad that this worked out. I'm glad that we've been able to do this. And okay,
this is what we do, dude. I mean, this is all
questions.
about you guys. It's not about me.
Now I'm going to ask these questions as a band, not individually. Okay, so we got to think of it collectively. What would be our last meal?
Spaghetti.
What'd you say?
Spaghetti.
I got to call it. It's 30 stones. Come on. it takes last meal is 30 stones. I mean,
there's a pork chop in every beer, man.
That's right. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I totally agree with the 30 stones.
Right,
30 stones,
I would,
or a handle of KD,
just 'cause.
Kentucky Deluxe.
Oh God,
Kentucky Deluxe, Lord Calvert. Don't forget the Lord.
Whoa,
the Lord.
Oh Lord! Oh Lord!
I hear Kentucky Deluxe, and I get that weird little vomit spray in the back of your mouth. You know, it's like, oh God.
No.
Yeah.
Oh shit. So what do you think would have been or would be a fitting epitaph on our gravestone as a band?
Sucks you couldn't see us.
Kicked ass. Jordan lived but kicked ass.
I just fucked that up. I am so sorry, guys. I just fucked
Fucking
that
drummers.
up. Fucking drummers. I gotta
Horrible
go back
timing.
in. Another take, please. A rump.
Harumph.
Harumph. That is
Harumph,
the
harumph.
epitaph right there. Harumph.
A rump.
And with that, guys, that brings us to our final segment. This is called the lightning round. But we're going to ask you guys 5 questions, rapid fire. So let's see. There's, I can't even count them all. How many of you are there? See, so there's 3 of you.
15
Sorry.
minus pi equals
Jesus Christ.
squared.
Okay, so there's 4 of you.
Hold
One of
on
you-
while I make these calculations.
One of you
Hold
guys.
on.
One of you
Big
guys.
slide rule.
One of you guys is
Computing.
gonna. one of-
Hold on. Computing. I forgot the order already.
Well,
So.
All right, so this
Guitarist.
one's for Josh.
Okay.
You're a new addition to a box of crayons. What color would you be and why?
Red.
right.
And why would I
Red.
be red? Because red's vibrant. It stands out a lot. And ooh, look at me.
Craig, can you instruct someone how to make an origami cootie catcher with just words?
Fold paper a whole bunch of different ways, and when it doesn't work out, I'm sorry.
Good answer.
All right, so for Cody, how many square feet of pizza are eaten in the U.S. each year?
175,000 miles.
Good answer. And Kenny, how many
Yes.
pennies would fit in this room?
5,
Your room.
9, my room.
He's outside.
A lot of goddamn pennies fit out here. 50 acres.
Nice.
You got me.
All right, Josh, last one.
Yep.
Go for it. Cody.
You are given an elephant. You can't sell it or give it away. What do you do with it?
Eat it.
Shoot that motherfucker.
And that's it. The lightning round.
I'll be eating
I
for
got
the
kids
rest of
to
my
feed.
days, man.
It's my COVID cheat meal, bro.
Oh, we're gonna have elephant for you.
Eat it or, give like elephant rides, one of the two, charge some money.
Oh, crap.
$5
You
bucks
kids
for an
don't
elephant
ride this elephant, I'm going to eat it.
We got a food truck, bitches.
Oh, you guys are nuts. Well, guys,
All right, guys. Thank you very much, guys, for coming on the show, man. We appreciate you.
yeah, this has been
Thanks for having us. That was awesome.
been a lot of fun. I'm really glad
Yes.
you guys came and did this.
Absolutely.
We also definitely try and stay in at least a little bit of touch, kind of reach out every now and again. Pokey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, not him. Him
Not him, but him.
and you. I don't even know how to read my
Gayness.
camera here. Wait a minute. Over there. Anyway,
I
guys,
will.
thank you so much. And is there anything that we forgot to ask or we forgot to talk about?
Your mom.
Oh, no.
My mom is, I don't know. But anyway, you guys enjoy your holidays. I got a question for everybody. Promise this is the last question. Simple, yes, no, or undecided. No judgment any which way. Vaccine or no vaccine?
No vaccine.
No vaccine.
Undecided.
I'm swinging towards no, but undecided.
All right, fair enough. Cool, great. Guys, enjoy your holidays. Have a safe holiday.
You guys too,
Really-
man.
Thanks, guys.
Really, really good
Thanks,
talking
guys.
to you, and we'll talk to you
Thanks,
soon.
Good
All
talking,
right.
y'all, man.
All right. Have a good night, fellas.
Peace.
Peace.
Y'all too.
All right, so we just got to have a nice long conversation with the intake. I have to make a quick correction. We were sitting there talking about the James Brown riff and how it was with a song called Untied, but it was with a different song. I'm not playing the song, but it was called Scratching the Surface. Great song as well.
Well, I appreciate you making that fucking correction, but I don't think anybody's going to notice.
It would have driven me crazy. But now we're gonna play a song from Intake's little catalog, a song that Sis was kind enough to title for us. This song's called "When Angels Attack." I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for watching.
This next song is called "When Angels Attack." I know when you think "When Angels Attack," oh, they're coming from above, they're coming from below. No, this hides in the most, it's within everybody, man. It's a girl, it's a guy, man. I'm sure there's girls who've been fucked over out there. Sure, there's guys who've been fucked over out there. And you know who the angel is, don't you? It's the person right next to you. That's who it is. So we wrote a little song about it. This is how it goes.
God damn it. It's serious now. That girl understood, man. Whew. She fell in love with me, man. Eye contact, man.
Yes. Oh, you know what I found today that I haven't seen in years? I forgot was back there. Another intake thing.
Your guitar?
Yeah, that's one of them.